So this is the major project of our community organizing students, our first year class. So I want to say that what you see today, if this is the first semester project, can you imagine what you're all going to be like at the end of a year and a half from now, right? And beyond. This is a campaign. The projects here reflect the assignment, the campaign that's making a difference in New York. Get involved, understand how a campaign works, what's positive, what's negative. Students have contributed many, many hours to this effort. People, hopefully you'll have a chance to both be somebody on the recipient end, be able to tell people about your project, and also have a chance to go around the room and see many, if not all, of the projects.
This is my first semester here at Hunter. I've been at Columbia before, and I have to tell you that I am totally impressed by Hunter students. I was sort of hesitated saying that while there's a camera going, but I'll say it anyhow. You guys just surpassed anything I've experienced as a professor in how much knowledge, energy, enthusiasm that you brought to your projects, and that I really learned a lot from you, and I thank you for that. I hope you learned from me also.
I just want to say to each and every one of you that I am so proud of what I see in this room. It's beyond my imagination, and you should be proud of your work as well. This is my second semester teaching community organizing, and I love every minute of it. Not only do I get a chance to pour into you, you pour into me, and that's the beauty of this process.
Buy Black campaign is not a new initiative. It's actually been around since the 1900s. It's a way of reinvesting Black dollars into Black communities.
And Picture the Homeless is founded and led by homeless people, and their campaign focuses on civil rights and housing for the homeless.
They also focus a lot on police brutality and the discrimination that homeless have to go through by the system, and just the opportunity that have been taken away by not providing affordable housing for them.
So our organization that we decided to do our campaign on is the Police Reform Organizing Project, and the director, Robert Ganji, basically what he's done is propose that the Mayor de Blasio, he take a look at how policing is done in New York City and calls for like a whole reform for the organization. One of the things that he calls for is to end broken windows policing. The second thing he calls for is to end the quota system, and the last thing that he calls for is a reallocation of resources from the police department to other government agencies. So like social workers would step in certain situations that require meetings or, require interactions with homeless people or people who are suffering from mental illness.
Our campaign is the Girls Education and Mentoring Services, which is about sexual exploitation and human trafficking of young girls. It's basically about decriminalizing prostitution and sex workers in New York and giving them trauma-informed care.
And we are with the Northern Manhattan is Not for Sale campaign. So we gathered with coalition members of Northern Manhattan is Not for Sale to fight the impending rezoning proposal put forth by Mayor de Blasio's 10-year plan to rezone many of the neighborhoods in New York City. And this campaign has gone on for about a year now, and we've used direct action through rallies and protests and agitating the community to try to make the mayor and other city council members like Idanis Rodriguez in Inwood and Washington Heights understand that the rezoning proposal has the potential to displace a lot of community members in Northern Manhattan.
We did a campaign around voter empowerment. Some of the activities that we engaged in was like pre-election. So I work at the National Institute for Reproductive Health, where we wanted to educate folks on which candidates up and down the ballot were pro-choice and were going to protect access and not overturn Roe v. Wade. We felt that a lot of folks were focused on the national level of the two candidates with Trump and Hillary, and there were like candidates up and down the ballot that were going to affect policy in our communities, and particularly here in New York. So a lot of the work that we did prior to the election was like text banking and phone banking, and just educating folks on where the candidates stood on the issues that were going to directly affect them, and to maintain a majority pro-choice majority in the New York State Senate.
SAVOR is a campaign dedicated to creating inclusive, accessible education on the 119th Street campus of Hunter for all students. So, Hunter offers a lot of great services for people with disabilities at the 68th Street location. However, most students are forced to go down to the 68th Street location, and what we would like to do is take all of these services, all of this education, and everything that students are being offered, and bring it up to our campus, that way students don't have to trek down there. We also really want to address this pervasive information gap that exists with students not knowing what accommodations are, whether or not they have a right to them, what the process is, or even if any of this applies to them.
Our project is Rise, Rebuild, Revive, bringing disaster awareness to the needs of southern Haiti. After Hurricane Matthew hit in October 2016, just a couple of months ago, there was great destruction in the area of Jeremy on the southern peninsula of the northern tip. After that, we felt a great calling to help those people in whatever capacity that was. We brought medical supplies, collected donations, and spread awareness to the ongoing issues of rebuilding Haiti.
Our campaign is for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And our campaign has 3 components to it, and Valerie will explain the first one.
The first component of our campaign is to draw attention to the language used when talking about suicide.
Secondly, we're working with Senator Jesse Hamilton on a policy change called the Mental Health First Aid Bill, which will be proposed to legislation up in Albany in 2017. It's really a fantastic campaign all the way around. It's a lifesaver. The logo is a lifesaver. We're giving out lifesavers tonight. And if you take one thing away, let's go back to the language and trying to really focus on changing the language to died by suicide.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our campaign is a long-term community-based campaign seeking to reduce gun violence in a restricted area. It uses the Cure Violence model established in Chicago by an epidemiologist, and it treats the epidemic of gun violence like a disease, and it seeks to change social norms and really give people that are involved in cycles of violence alternatives to gun violence or any other kind of violence to solve their conflicts.
We were part of the campaign for the Scenic Coalition, which stands for the Sexuality Education Alliance of New York City. So their mission is to ensure that age-appropriate and medically accurate sexuality and STI HIV education is mandated throughout all of New York City public school systems.
For our campaign project, we got involved with an organization called Showing Up for Racial Justice, or SURGE. It's a national organization with chapters across different cities in the U.S. And the purpose of SURGE is to organize white folks to get involved in anti-racist organizing led by people of color and centering the voices and experiences and asks of people of color in anti-racist organizing.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Daniela.
I'm Rima. And we are the
Macro Social Work Student Network.
The Student Network is here to build a bridge between Silberman community and social work students across the nation so that we can build and expand macro practice.
We worked on the Close Rikers campaign, which was started by Just Leadership USA earlier this year. And the campaign is calling for Mayor de Blasio to close Rikers Island for a number of reasons, and also working on advocating for policy reform.
Some of the details regarding the policy reform, with the speedy trial, a lot of the people in Rikers are just waiting for a trial. 40% of them have some type of mental illness, so we're looking to get them support and treatment instead of being in Rikers.
And what I focused on was the plantation to prison and how, you know, America has benefited from that relationship.